Well, it is 6:30. We'll call this meeting of the Township Board to order. Will everyone please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance?
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Trustee Wade?
Here.
Trustee Matuzak? Here. Trustee Kress?
Present.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Here.
Trustee King?
Present.
Treasurer Aiello?
Present.
Clerk Meltzer here.
Okay. For the purposes of a public service announcement, I recognize Clerk Meltzer.
Thank you, Mr. Supervisor. So it's 8 days until Election Day. August 4th is Election Day. It's a primary in Michigan, and encourage those of you that have not had the opportunity to vote to please get out and do so. It is very important. Primaries do matter. Important thing to remember about your primary ballot is that you can only vote on one partisan side. That would mean if you started on the Democrat side, you could only vote down the Democrat side. If you cross over to the Republican side, your partisan ballot, it will be entirely spoiled. And reciprocally, if you start down the Republican and vote on the Democrat side, again, your partisan selections will be totally spoiled. There is a nonpartisan section on the ballot, a ballot initiative for some schools, and then also a judge race. So that would not be, because that's considered nonpartisan, so that one would maintain and count. But make sure to get your ballot. You can do that now. We are in the midst of early voting, which was brought forward by state constitution, allowing us to provide early voting, and you can do that from 8:30 a.m. to 4:30 p.m. Monday through Saturday, but on Sunday, it's from noon to 8 p.m. And we just finished our first weekend, so we have one more week and one more weekend. That includes Saturday and Sunday where you can early vote. And it's a great opportunity. It's just like voting on Election Day. So if you are busy on Tuesday, August 4th, Election Day, please consider coming in and early voting leading up to tomorrow through that date. So thank you for your listening ear, and I hope you vote. Thanks.
Great. And for another public service announcement regarding chaos on Coleman, I recognize myself to read a statement that was delivered both to the media and out to the public for those that wanted to receive it. Chaos on Coleman has grown into a month-long community tradition each October, and we appreciate the creativity, time, and effort of the homeowners who have invested in making it a memorable experience for so many families. As Township Supervisor, I met with the organizers in October of 2025 to discuss ways to balance the success of the event with the needs of the neighboring residents. Our discussion focused on practical measures to help the event continue safely and respectively, including ending amplified activity by 10 p.m. on weeknights and 11 p.m. on Fridays and Saturdays, consistent with the Township's noise ordinance. Additional public safety considerations to help manage the growing crowds, and being mindful of neighboring residents whose enjoyment of their homes can be affected by the size of the event. The Clinton Township Board has taken no action against either the event or the homeowners who created it. To the contrary, the Township has routinely dedicated additional police and public safety resources to help ensure the event remains safe for visitors and residents alike, and stands ready to work with residents who want to find ways to strengthen connections and grow our community in a responsible way. Much confusion, much false information out there in the public. Hopefully this will set the record straight. Ms. Meltzer, we have 6 items on the agenda. Is that correct?
Yes, but I do have, somebody set this on my desk. I don't know who did that. Anybody claiming? No? I don't know how I got here. Okay. Yes, 6 items on the agenda at this time.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda as presented?
I'll make a motion to approve it minus item 6. There is no follow-up information. There is nothing in the packet to give us direction or to, I guess, to figure out what the need is to do so. So I'm asking that be removed and we just approve items 1 through 5. That's my motion.
Is there a second?
Support.
Been moved and supported. Discussion? Public? Roll call, please.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
No.
Trustee Kress?
No.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
No.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Okay, so wait a second. Yeah, oh, it passes. 4-3, sorry. Yeah, motion passes.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Item number 1, the consent agenda.
I'll make a
Total
motion.
of 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 items.
I'll make a motion to receive and file.
Support.
Just to clarify, Treasurer Aiello, it's a motion to approve the items on the consent agenda?
Okay.
Okay. All
Yes.
right. And support?
Yes.
Okay. Discussion on the consent agenda. Roll call, please.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Item number 2, introduction of applicant for appointment to the Conservation and Beautification Committee. The applicant is Madison Grace. I believe Madison's here with us in the audience. Per board custom, we want to give you 3 minutes in which to introduce yourself and talk about your interest in the committee.
Just really quick, there are 5 full terms open on the Conservation Beautification Committee, and the committee holds terms of 3 years. The terms have expiration dates of November 30th, 2029.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Hi, guys. My name is Madison Grace. I wanted to first thank you guys for getting me the opportunity to speak today. I wanted to be direct with why I applied here. I'm a recent graduate with a BS in computer science, so not necessarily public policy, but I have interest in the intersectionality of technology and public policy. So I'm here today to bring forward why I would like to be on this committee. So like I said, I don't have much environmental science background. I'm not sure if anybody here competing does, but I wanted to bring up some of the reasons why I think I would be a good candidate for this opportunity. What I bring to the table is I work well in high pressure situations, high accountability environments. Previously, being a student athlete, I was a volleyball player at Morgan State University, which is a Division I program. And I served as a team leader. And through there, I learned how to communicate under pressure, hold myself and other people accountable, as well as making hard decisions that affect other people. And so I think that experience helps me helps translate into what I can do for the Clinton-Macomb County. As well as I grew up in this community. I went to Fraser. I graduated from Fraser. This is my home. I love the library. So I'm very excited to offer whatever I can. Thank you, guys.
Great. So if I could, Madison, probably a prerequisite more so than computers and public policy is a willingness to get your hands dirty and get in and, help to do cleanups and a number of other great projects, tree plantings. So
That's the beautiful thing about it.
You have to come up to the microphone.
Yeah.
That's the beautiful thing about it. I just graduated college. I'm very ready to get working, so.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Okay. Ms. Meltzer, you had something
I
to
was
add?
just going to say, really, all you need as a prerequisite is a strong back. You're going to
So
be
we're
bending
thinking
over
along the
picking
same
up
lines
stuff.
here. Yep. So is there a motion?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
So motion to approve the appointment?
Yes.
Okay. It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion? Trustee Matuzak.
Just my usual comment that her background check is clean on the report.
Okay. All right. Any further discussion? Roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Welcome aboard,
Congratulations.
Madison. We're glad to have you.
Congratulations.
Okay. Item number 3, request to schedule the public hearing to renew the police and fire special assessment millage.
Dear members of the board, the Department of Assessing respectfully requests you to schedule a public hearing for renewal of the special assessment police and fire millage. Please schedule the public hearing for the August 10th, 2026 regular board meeting. The special assessment millage is levied on real property only and will generate the following approximate revenue based upon an ad valorem real property taxable value of $4,110,092. I'm sorry, $4,110,092,376. The police generates 5 mills, fire 4 mills, for a total of $36,990,832. In addition, the industrial real property has a taxable value of $8,642,108 and will generate the following approximate revenue. The police under that taxable is 2.5 mils, fire is 2.0 mils, for a total of $38,889. The grand totals for police is $20,572,067. For fire, it's $16,457,654, for a total of $37,029,721. The above approximate revenue amounts are subject to Board of Review, Michigan Tax Tribunal, Michigan Department of Treasury, and State Tax Commission adjustments. Respectfully submitted, Elizabeth Schwartz, Assessor.
Okay, this is a item to schedule the public hearing for the meeting that will take place on August 10th of 2026. Is there a motion to that effect?
So moved.
Second that.
Been moved and supported. Any discussion?
Question?
Trustee Matuzak.
This is a millage that, that we do as opposed to a vote of the public. So we're renewing the millages adjusted for the state equalized value of the area. I guess it's more a statement than a question.
Ms. Bednar? Or, I mean, sorry, not Ms. Bednar, Ms. Hine. The other Mary?
So yes, this is a millage that the board renews every year. And it's been there I went back to 1997, and it was same mills back then.
Okay. Any further discussion from the board? From the public? Mr. Bushell.
From what I just heard, all the real property in the residential district gets 5 mills, pays 5 mills. And in the commercial and industrial, they're down to 2 and 2.5 mills. So, and nothing on their personal property. So they're getting quite a deal on this. Thank you.
Ms. Hine.
I don't think it's not all commercial and industrial. It's certain parcels that have gotten adjustments to their, for whatever reason. That's a little beyond my knowledge, but it's not all commercial and industrial.
I think it's just the
Like IFTs
tax
and that kind of
abatements
stuff. Yes,
for those properties, which we have very few of.
correct.
So,
Yes.
Okay, thank you. Thank you for the clarification. We don't want to have that misunderstanding out there in the public. Thank you. We have a motion and support. Any further discussion? Roll call, please.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Motion passes.
Item number 5, cost share agreement with Macomb County Department of Roads for Little Mack Avenue.
You
Excuse
skipped
me,
4.
4. Request for amendment of committee appointment process.
Dear honored board members, I respectfully request the board's consideration of a resolution establishing an introduction process for individuals selected for appointments to township committees. Specifically, the proposed resolution would require that all committee applicants for appointment attend the board meeting for which their appointment is on the agenda in an introductory capacity. This appearance would be a chance for the applicant to make a brief introductory statement. This practice would help ensure both the board and the public are afforded the opportunity to become acquainted with prospective committee members. Respectfully, Dr. Michael Aiello, from our treasurer, and Bruce Wade, our trustee.
Floor is open. Clerk Meltzer.
I think it's a really good idea. I think we have a good example of that with Madison here today. It helps us to be able to, get a, attach a name to the face and learn a little bit more about you, even if it's such a small window in which we do it. It's better than nothing at all. So I think it's a really good recommendation, and I'd like to make the motion to support it. This would be part of a policy process.
I'll second that.
So, okay, so it's been moved and supported. Any further discussion? Trustee Wade.
I would just pretty much reflect on the same things that Clerk Meltzer said. I think it's really important that we get to meet, and the public gets to meet the people that we're putting in positions, and, stopping up at the township offices. If I seen Madison walking around, I'd be able to interact and, how are things going? And so, as we all know, she presented herself very well and makes us feel that we're getting a quality individual in these positions.
Further discussion. So let me just say, the well-intentioned, certainly a great addition to the policy. The problem is we don't even have a policy right now. The reason why is because board rules were voted down, where the actual policy was outlined and very specifically what the procedure was, which is, for instance, if we have multiple applicants, we give them the opportunity to come to a meeting, introduce themselves, and then at the second meeting, we have then called it up for appointment. In the case where we have, like, for instance, one or two applicants and then just a corresponding number of open positions, we've been able to actually vote on the issue that night. However, that is occurring just in practice because that's the way we've done it before. Previous board actually voted to make sure that that was the practice, wrote it into the board rules, and I just simply carried that on, took the liberty of doing so. Now we have a policy on background checks, and we have a policy that they have to appear, but with all due respect, I'm going to continue doing the one and two-step process at the pleasure of the board. So with that, any further discussion on the item? Trustee Wade.
I understand what you're saying, but I don't agree with it, because we do have state law that we follow, just like the overwhelming majority of townships do in the state of Michigan. It's a practice that many previous boards sitting in here followed. And not only do we have state law, we also voted in, I think it was 4 pages of rules that we added to fulfill what we wanted. We've added background checks. Hopefully we can add this. We also added the way items are submitted. They have to be in by Thursday. So this has kind of been a working document, I think, that serves us. So I feel when people say we don't have any rules, and then sometimes the public thinks we don't have any rules, that's not true. We have state law and we have rules that we've added. So I understand you had some good points in yours, but I feel comfortable with what we have.
Trustee Wade, with all due respect, the Charter Township Act is mute on this issue. So my statements stand as we do not have rules on what the committee process is other than a background check and if we adopt this tonight. Simple point, that's all I was saying, but fact is we do not have rules on the appointment process other than those two.
I'd like to respond.
Trustee
to
Kress.
that.
I'm in favor of this. I don't like the supervisor's statement that he took liberty to continue things as they were without having board rules. So this gives us a structure, this gives us a exposure to the candidates, and I think it's an excellent idea. Thank you.
Trustee Wade.
Not to go back and forth with you, because I don't want to do that. But when you put your rules together, a good chunk of that came out of that state law. So it was very redundant. There was just some things in there that I know myself and a couple other people didn't feel comfortable with. So adopting state law, which I feel very comfortable with, and then adding things as we feel fulfills what we need, I think is the most beneficial. And I respect your opinion. I just differ.
Yeah. I don't want to belabor the point.
We have a motion and a second,
We have a motion and a second.
but there's also,
Public comment. Mr. Buchel.
This does appear like a very good idea, and I guess what I wanted to clarify, because it's been talking about do we have rules or not. In all actuality, this isn't the first board to not have rules. The actual rules were voted down by the prior board a couple times. And so it's a matter of the actual total rules for the board procedures. It's good that you're introducing these now, because in all actuality, you have none, and but it wasn't this board that did it. It was the prior board, as I'm sure that the people that were on the prior board, I think there's 3 of you up here, that voted to not have the rules by.
not true, but
Yeah.
let's not let the truth.
I'm sorry, that is not true. But a roll call, please, Ms. Meltzer.
Okay, thank you. Clerk Meltzer, yes. Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Motion passes.
Okay. Item number 5, cost share agreement with Macomb County Department of Roads, Little Mack, South Nunneley to Tullio, South Nunneley Road, which is Little Mack to Gratiot, and Carlier Street, Groesbeck to Little Mack, all reconstructs. I want to turn things over to Ms. Meltzer to read the letter, and then we're going to turn it over to Ms. Bednar for a brief presentation.
Very good. Dear Honorable Board members, Clinton Township received a cost share agreement with the Macomb County Department of Roads, MCDR, for the following road improvements. Little Mack Avenue, South Nunneley to Tullio, full depth reconstruction with new concrete pavement, 60% Township, 40% County. South Nunneley Road, Little Mack to Gratiot, cold milling and overlay with new asphalt pavements surface with drainage improvements, all 60% Township, 40% County. Carlier Street, Groesbeck to Little Mack, cold milling and overlay with new asphalt, pavement surface, 25% Township, 75% County match. And drainage improvements, 60% Township, 40% County. These road segment improvements are a high priority for improvement based on the scoring matrix established to the Clinton Township Ensuring Quality Roads, the EQR Subcommittee, and Department of Public Services. These improvements also meet goals of the Clinton Township Strategic Plan. The total cost for these improvements is $5,203,322, with $3,121,993 being required from Clinton Township and $2,223,039 being matched by MCDR. A budget amendment will be required for this cost share agreement. Based on information from the MCDR, the total cost is higher than what they originally estimated for the following factors. Additional drainage measures needed for South Nunneley Road and Carlier Street, and realignment of Little Mack and Egan intersection due to long-term safety concerns. We had discussed the updated costs with the Finance Department, and they confirmed that there is sufficient funds to cover these additional costs in the Township's Infrastructure Fund. Given these considerations, the Township's Board approval will be necessary for the approval of the attached cost share agreement. Please contact me with any questions related to the item. Thank you, Mary Bednar, Public Services Director.
Okay, very briefly here, a question. So we're approving tonight budget amendment for a total cost of $3,121,993, Ms. Bednar?
The cost share is for the $3,121,000. The budget amendment is actually, I believe, only for $1 million because we came in under on certain projects and over on, so it's kind of a balance. So it's approximately, I think it's 1.1 million would be
Okay.
the total budget amendment.
All right, but so the motion, what you're looking for is approval of the cost share agreement for these projects with a total budget allocation from the township of the 3.121.
And a budget
993.
amendment of the 1.1 million.
Okay. All right, is there a motion to that effect?
I'll make that motion.
I'll second that.
Been moved and supported. Okay, discussion. Ms. Bednar, I think this is an opportune time to talk about the project that we worked on recently to help keep the public informed on the road projects that are actually coming and happening within our community.
So I ask you to turn your to the screen. There's 3 of them. So, but anyway, so one of the things we put together is a construction project dashboard, so that the public can look up on the dashboard and find out what projects are planned, what's going on right now. There's a quick little video on the bottom. I'm not going to click that, but it kind of shows you how to use the dashboard if you aren't familiar with it. But more importantly, I just want to go right to the dashboard. By the way, don't look up there to do that. You got to look down here because my arrow was everywhere.
Oh, we lost the screen, Ms. Bednar.
Okay, so here's your dashboard. Up. So here's the dashboard. What you'll see is over on the left-hand side, the different types of projects that we're doing. So we have 19 different road projects that is being proposed. You can look at the map and you can highlight different road projects. It'll tell you where it's at in the process, if it's started, not started, any information that we might have. Sometimes it might be pretty vague, like midsummer, because we don't necessarily have the contractor's timeline yet, but you know that it's coming up type idea. You'll see we have 4 park projects going. We do have some pathway projects as well as sidewalk projects. We have 5 of those. There are 8 water projects, there are 2 sewer projects, and then there's some storm drainage projects that we are doing with the county, Macomb County Department of Public Works. And so it kind of gets a feel so you can see where different things are going. You can pick different roads, like I just picked Canal Road there, and it says that it's Canal Road. It's supposed to start midsummer. It's a 2-inch full width mill and overlay, and it goes on to talk about it being part of the Department of Roads projects. So it's just like a nice little helpful hint and tool. So if someone calls you and says, what's going on, whether they go there or you go there, you can go, oh, there's something going on in Egan, or oh, there's something, and it kind of gives you kind of a overview of what's happening in the township. We thought this might be helpful and useful. I will share with you the overall red area. That is that sewer lead program. We did not want to call out individual homes that are receiving it, so we kind of just said, this is the area that it's happening in based on the people that qualified and so forth. So if anyone thinks they want, we just closed the applications for phase 2 of that. Hopefully we still have money left and we'll have a phase 3. But at this point, we are evaluating that and hopefully moving forward with phase 2 of that sewer lead program.
So my compliments to your department, certainly to your stellar employee who's your GIS specialist, who I say, can this be done? And when everyone kind of hems and haws a little bit, she tends to say, yeah, I think we can do that.
I will
and she goes to
say-
work and
I will
comes up
say,
with a great project every time.
We brainstormed this, but if it wasn't for her, we would not be able to have this. And she does receive emails from the Department of Roads saying with different status, and she goes up on that day and updates that so that it's as current as possible. I can't, if she has a day off, a vacation day or something, I can't guarantee it'll be up to the exact second, but she's pretty sharp. She usually will get it up to date pretty quickly.
Okay. And then the last thing is, the quickest way for the public to get there, or quite frankly, even for board members, go to the township's website, clintontownship.com, and then in the search bar, just type in construction projects or construction dashboard, and you can find the link. The video there was produced by Crams. I want to thank them because they did a great job of helping people who are not necessarily always computer savvy and how to go about navigating it and the different tools and different types of devices they can do to search for projects and things like that.
I have not tried typing in just projects, but I have typed in just construction.
Yep.
And it popped up. So, hopefully we have enough words that anybody that thinks of, it will pop up if you do that.
Okay. Ms. Bednar, thank you for delivering that presentation tonight. It was kind of impromptu, but I thought this was a great way to introduce this at the board meeting before we kind of really roll it out to the public and do a lot of advertisements for it. So, appreciate that. Any further items on, any further discussion on the item? We have a motion and a support?
We do, but I do have one quick question.
Okay. Clerk Meltzer?
Mary, I'm sorry, so I'm on the site right now. It is really nice, but because it's really quick and I don't want to labor any, longer here than we have to. When are they doing Romeo Plank Road?
So I know that it was supposed to be scheduled earlier in the year, but the contractor, it was pulled off. I'm trying to pick it right now. My finger.
It says I see it here, midsummer.
So
yeah. Okay.
I know that it was supposed to be end of June, but like I said, something came up, so they were pulled to a different project. So that's why we actually are keeping it kind of, unless we know it started, we're keeping it in that vague. We're defining mid-June kind of as a 6-week area. Now, with that being said, by the end of July, if it hasn't started, we're in the end of July, that might change to say late summer, we are at the mercy of the Department of Roads and their contractor, but we are doing the best. As soon as we know something, we're updating.
Thank you. That's it.
Any further discussion? Trustee Wade and then Trustee Matuzik.
Just one quick question. The type of surface that you're going to put on a road, who makes that determination? Like you talked about some
on a
with,
road project.
yeah.
The Department of Roads has a jurisdiction over the roads, so they ultimately make the final decision on what happens on roads and so forth. We will have conversation back and forth as an engineer and our consulting engineer from AEW. We will have conversations, but ultimately it's the Department of Roads who has the jurisdiction that will make those calls.
Because you said.
But we are in the room.
Okay. Some are going to be done with asphalt, I think you said when you read the statement.
So, if you mean in the letter?
Yeah.
So, basically, yeah, so, whatever the road is currently is usually how they're gonna replace it or how they're gonna repair. So, Little Mack, is concrete. so they're going to be doing, concrete, where if it's asphalt, they're going to be doing, so it's kind of what's already there is what they're going to be replacing at in most cases.
Well, and roughly, what would be the difference in cost? Like per square foot or however you measure it?
To do concrete instead of asphalt?
Yeah.
It's really hard because some of these are overlays, some of these are millings. It's, you're not necessarily comparing reconstruction to reconstruction. And so it really just depends on what is being done and so forth. So I can't really answer that off,
Okay. All right.
But some of these projects, as overlays, it's a matter of just grinding down and then doing an overlay. It's not going to last as long as a full reconstruct, but full
Correct.
reconstructs are dramatically that much more expensive.
Exactly. So those are some of the decisions the Department of Roads has made, is saying we can do it for, say, a tenth of the cost, but get 10 years out of it versus the full, a reconstruction cost and only getting 20 or 30 years. And so those are some, but those reconstruction projects like this, the overlays and stuff, sometimes, they don't address the drainage issues if there's drainage issues. In fact, that's one of the reasons of why this came in a little over budget, is because they are trying to address some of those drainage issues.
Okay, thank you.
Trustee Matuzik.
I just want to say that having recently driven on, it seems like, a number of the streets we have done, the subdivision preservation ones, where we're sort of doing feeder streets. What a wonderful thing. I was on Iroquois last night. It was like a gravel road before, and now it's like wonderful.
And we'll be submitting more of those feeder roads here shortly.
Right, and they make a
with
huge
board
difference
approval.
because that's where the whole subdivision travels. And when we got the money, when the county got the money from the state, and it's a great investment in our neighborhoods, and I just really appreciate it.
Agree.
Any further discussion? That's a great point to do a roll call on.
Yeah. Trustee Matuzik.
Yes.
Treasurer Aiello.
Yes.
Trustee Wade.
Yes.
Trustee Kress.
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem.
Yes.
Trustee King.
Yes.
Clerk Meltzer, yes. Motion passes.
Thank you, Ms. Bednar. That brings us to public comment.
Mr. Supervisor, can I have a point of information? I think it is.
Trustee Matuzik?
Is that microphone actually on? And I really can't hear whoever the speaker is at that microphone very clearly. And it could be because my hearing aids are picking up the AC fans over here. But if we can have Crams or whomever check that microphone, because I don't think it's on very loud.
I was going to say it is on.
Oh, it is on. Now I hear you. Before
But
I
it
didn't
has
hear
to be
you.
in front of your mouth. So first of all, I apologize if it wasn't in front of my mouth. But we just need to remind people to put it in front of their mouth. So it is on. In fact, this microphone is the only microphone that stays on at all times, because in case a resident comes up, I've had a conversation with Crams. In case a resident comes up and they don't turn it on, we want to make sure we hear them. So if you're not hearing, someone needs to, kindly remind someone to put it in front of their mouth.
Okay, because I had the same issue with our new member of the committee. It's just I don't hear it. But again, sometimes it's hard with hearing aids. When you have that sort of background noise, it sort of drowns things out. So thank you.
Okay. Mr. Buchel?
Good evening. I'm kind of glad that when it came to a little bit earlier and the supervisor said, oh, false information, and the clerk got such a big kick out of it, which was on the fact of when the board had board rules. This board has been in place for a year and a half. Anybody can go back to the Macomb Daily to see two epic fights over a couple of years by the prior board when they got rid of all the board rules. I'm just saying that because pretty often around here, the ringmaster says something like, oh, false information, does never say what the false information is. And it literally, the rest of you are on the circus, so it is your meeting. And that goes to this. I brought in the actual worksheet, which you all, I got a copy of it and sent it out. The supervisor sent this out with the fact that I made false statements at the last meeting about this property. And sure enough, it got redone, but as I pointed out to each of you, and you each had a long time to look at it, it's still listed as vacant land, even though it's a going business. And along with that, it's not on any, the road surfaces, what type of utilities, all of this that is required for an accurate assessment is not on this. If that's, and this is the largest population township in Michigan. And there again, what it does do now is, because I had pointed out that there was a fence permits and such before, 4 years before this property ever had a site plan, it got a fence permit for a storage yard, which in all actuality, as you all know, and our very well-paid planning department and planning commissioners must know, requires a masonry wall, not a fence. Now, I'd like to know, and I asked the question tonight on, my public comments questions, who approved those permits? There's no variance granted ever. There was no site plan, and it was quite illegal. And I think when you have to see why Mr. Kress wisely wanted this board to do an overlook of what's happening in the planning department, you have been repeatedly, and I've told you each time, you each getting these projects to approve, where you're told by the planning department and the planning commission they meet all of the standards and zoning ordinances, when they do not, clearly don't. There again, Consumers Energy on Kelly Road, when I and the secretary at the time of the planning commission, who lives in the subdivision, Ms. Chair, she's not on the, she actually left after that, but we were told,
15 seconds, Mr. Bouchot.
well, there again, you all know the planner said they were working to an existing site plan, and there was no site plan. When you finally approved the site plan, the first site plan ever on that property, there's all kinds of wild variances on it, but the planning department said there's nothing, it all meets the law. That's why you have to do an oversight.
Your time is up. Thank you. Seeing no further public participation, a motion to adjourn is in order.
So moved.
I'll second that.
Moved and supported. Roll call, please.
Clerk Buncer, yes. Treasurer Aiello?
Yes.
Trustee Wade?
Yes.
Trustee Matuzak?
Yes.
Trustee Kress?
Yes.
Supervisor Gieleghem?
Yes.
Trustee King?
Yes.
Motion passes.
We're adjourned.
7-11.